My boy.
Best character in the game.
This is one of my favorite characters to play in a video game. I have so much fun. How this character works with me, especially when I'm level 5, 6, 7, and you have more talents. If you've ever played Doom and you play on a harder difficulty, you kind of black out. It's like a 10-minute fight. You kind of black out on what you're doing and you just have to be locked in with your hands, and controller, and eyes and everything. And you're just cycling through your weapons as you're taking down all these enemies. And then you end the fight and you're like, what did I just do? Where was I? How long was that? This is how I play Aladdin when I start getting things going. My mind is just in flow state. This character has the biggest combo combinations of any character. Say you have aerial catch where you need to use your defense into your special blades to get a shield. Well, you can add slide attack to that, where throw your blades, slide attack. You can add air dash, throw your blades, slide attack, use your defense and air dash. You can have spinning strikes, where once you catch your blades, you have this spinning attack. You have dive. Once you catch your blades, dive and land on an enemy. You have so many things and so much flair to add to your gameplay style. Even his power build with Sword Jin, throwing your blades, backflipping over an enemy to make them vulnerable, dash away to get max range punch with the base power, and turn and hit them with a Sword Jin. There's so much style and flow. I love playing this character so much.
Yeah, and it's fun because, like you're saying, they made a lot of animation decisions. They put a lot of work into helping you understand the numbers behind what's going on by having good visual feedback. So, for example, you have tornado jump. When you tornado jump, you could potentially go into an air dash. You could go into a dive. There's so much going on with this character all the time. The ceiling here is incredibly high because there's so many iframes mixed into that. You can get attack speed. You have spinning strikes and leaping strike. Aladdin, when he's played really well, flows like no other. He has so much AoE. And then in his downtimes, because it's really important to keep your enchantment stacks up, you throw in your special, you use your power. So it's really nice because I go in and I attack. I've used up my enchantment. I'm going to kite back. I'm going to throw my special. When your special's out, you can't attack anyway, but it doesn't feel bad because you don't have enchantment stacks. And then you follow up with your power. Sword Jin comboing with Jin's Fury is visually just peak. It's peak Ravenswatch. It's so satisfying to land that max duration ring gen. It's so good. I think that that's one of the things that Aladdin does maybe better than any other character. There's such a range of options and there's such an intricacy to his gameplay. Frankly, I don't get the full benefit of that. This is one of these characters that you could play hundreds and hundreds of times and there would still be things to learn about him. But it's funny because he has all those things in his kit that are really intricate and detailed. But then there are things in his kit that just give you value by existing. I have in mind probably Master Thief and sort of a similar way, Dream Wish. But Dream Wish probably belongs to its own conversation. Master Thief is one of these things that is just obscenely broken and I'm here for it. But at the same time, sometimes I'm like, a little bit resentful. I think Aladdin can scale just incredibly high above every other character in the game.
I, as like the biggest Aladdin proponent, I remember when people were saying in solo play, this dude is D tier, this dude is the worst. And I'm like, this is the best character in the game all the time. And I might be biased on that still, but no other character has a way of playing this. I actually don't dislike that this is the most optimal way to play the game and that it exists. I could also understand though, Master Thief potentially need to look at it and do something there. He has Genia's Gift as a starting talent, which gives you 1 trait charge. I use all my traits with the special to get consumables because that's going to last me throughout the entire game. But the future talents having a 15% chance of being rare or above, this actually goes up to 25 because you'll get 4 trait charges. And if you use them all for special, you can upgrade that right away. It only costs 70. And you have a 25% chance of all your talents being rare or above. The most optimal way to play is to have a Sands of Oblivion in your shop and try to get Master Thief at level 2. Go do all of your chests and wishing wells and Master Thief them, and then Sands of Oblivion into whatever build that you actually want and have to spend less money because of Genius Gift and your talents. They buffed Aladdin when they did the wishing well change. You can now buy commons from the shop because he can Master Thief those commons from the shop. That's like another opportunity for that to proc. Wishing wells now being able to drop commons. A lot of commons are actually the most vital parts of your game in a lot of instances, and the super effects of those are really good. Having another chance to Master Thief those as well is kind of insane. They also just buffed him by reducing his power cooldown and special cooldown because a lot of people said his rotation was too long. I didn't really agree with that. I'm happy he got buffed though, and I'm happy I can do that quicker with him. This is the only character that plays like that though, where you most optimally play by waiting and delaying everything with the Sands of Oblivion in your shop to try to get Master Thief and then go Sands of Oblivion it. He has so much past that in his different play styles. I don't think he has a special build, which is unfortunate. I've done it. It's a meme. But he has a great power build and then multiple different attack builds.
I think one of the reasons why Aladdin doesn't always land for people, part of it is if you look at his starting talents, Jin's Might and Aerial Catch, they're both pretty mechanically intensive. And so I think that it takes people a while to get the hang of them. And when you're focused on that, the other things in your gameplay suffer. So I think Aladdin, relative to some of the rest of the roster, is trickier to train yourself mechanically and get comfortable with. And so that slows him down. But I think another big thing that's important to recognize is that Dream Wish is hard to understand. And this is the first ultimate, is hard to understand and apply properly because 150 Dream Shards is a pretty big investment to get the Genia of the Lamp value, right? To get the extra charges on your trait. But at the same time, it has the potential, it has the highest ceiling. And this is really, really evident in co-op, but it's also true in solo play that if you lean into Dream Wish and you get the dream combination with Leprechaun coins and Hope Diamond and Golden Eggs, he can scale infinitely. And some of the things that you can do with him you can't do with other characters is you could literally just sit and spawn and crank out consumables for 45 minutes before you actually went into the chapter and started the timer. So that's the thing, is he can turn into a Dream Shard printer. I recognize it's hard to get to that. One of the things I think is tough is that if you marry an ecosystem in the game to a character kit like this, it takes away from other choices that you would make in the game. Because all of a sudden you're not going to be looking at upgrading talents, you're not going to be looking at buying from wishing wells, you're not going to be looking at anything else that you could be spending your money on. You're really just focused on the Dream Wish value. And another thing that's tough right now is that we really just use this for consumables. There are other wishes out there, right? When was the last time someone used Wish of Omnipotence in a Nightmare run? It was probably a meme.
What is that?
Wish of Omnipotence, the one that gives everybody omnipotence.
That's on like Wukong's ultimate, right?
Yeah, exactly. Wukong gets it for free at level 10.
Because Aladdin only has 3 starting talents.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. He only has 3.
They unfortunately only gave him Aerial Catch, Genius Gift, and Jin's Might. I was confused with what you're talking about. Sorry about that. Go on.
That's my bad. Because we have tied consumables to this Dream Wish, first off, we made it really expensive. So it's 150 Dream Shards. It's the only ultimate in the game that is both Dream Shards and a cooldown. And it also means that we have these consumables that can be generated from it that exist in other places in the game. So trying to manage that between the way that they are balanced in the rest of the game and how they're balanced for Aladdin personally, they've tried to do some things to make it better. They've given fewer options on the consumables. They made it so you can't re-roll them because that was broken, but it still kind of has an unsatisfying feeling in my head. I think I'd prefer it if we got rid of the price, got rid of the consumable generation part of it, and then we just used the trait charges for the other things that they can offer, right? For the AoE heal, for the damage. I think that would be cool if we were incentivized to use it for those other wishes, because right now you don't see that in a game where people are in any kind of difficulty.
I do think the one area is I've had a run on stream and a run solo where I've taken Dream Wish without Hope Diamond in chapter 1 and I did not get it through the rest of the game. And I had like 2 Leprechaun coins and I could not finish it. That actually does put you in a position where you do really think about, okay, I don't have enough money to make a lot of these consumables. Probably want to go for well and try to get Hope Diamond. And if you don't get that, you have put yourself in a spot where you don't really use your ultimate that much. And again, if you do use it for the heals or the damage ultimate, then you might use it. But for me and how I play Aladdin, I only use it for the consumables for the most part. I've put myself in some scenarios where I'm like, dang, I wish I had this carpet because I do not have any money. I don't have the money for this, or I'm falling behind and I need to go do 3 wishing wells and not spend it on the consumable because I need to start scaling myself better. The optimal way to play is to use Genia's Gift and get all of your traits and get as many rerolls as possible to try to avoid that situation. But I have found some scenarios like when you can't do that, this feels really, really bad. But I do agree with you in general. Most runs you will be able to pull that off. You will be able to get what you need. And they've also added Horn of Plenty to get rerolls as well. So your ability to get Hope Diamond, to get a few Leprechaun coins, if you do get Pastor Thief, your ability to finish that is a lot easier. When you don't, yeah, it feels real bad.
How do you feel about Magic Carpet at the moment? It's going to be the more mainstream and probably more consistent in solo play. Because again, like if you're trying to manage all the math, have good RNG with Dream Wish, your variability goes up a lot. Magic Carpet, it's just a more traditional ultimate. One of its offerings is that you just don't have to think about the eco management side of Dream Wish.
I love Magic Carpet. It's intangibility for a long time. It does a lot of stagger. What stands out to me is the Knoll camps in chapter 2 with spear throwers and the flail knolls. Just being able to take out all the spear throwers and stagger the flail knoll and then come out of the carpet and just being able to have an easy kill is really, really nice. Crabs also stand out. If you're not going full power build, he can struggle against crabs with actually staggering them. The level 10 quick ride, it's good for movement where you dash and you hop on the carpet and you can deal some damage with it. It is good for movement, but I don't like it because Leaping Strikes is such a good talent and it's really, really awkward to use quick ride and Leaping Strikes together. You travel pretty quickly on it, and so you'll travel away from the enemy, but you also just want a quick dash, and the carpet makes your dash longer. You want a quick dash to dash back through the enemy with Leaping Strikes and get those hits off really quick. And I find that that's kind of hard to pull off. I honestly really like the level 10 upgrade, the Dream Stride, because it does give you Dream Shards. It's very worth in Chapter 3 upgrading it and then, doing camps that are going to have a lot of enemies like the Grimoires with the carpet. The ultimate has no cooldown if enemies aren't hit, so it just becomes like a complete movement tech, which I already used the carpet in Chapter 1 and 2 as movement tech to just travel a lot quicker, but Chapter 3 you can just travel around really, really easily by hopping on the carpet and not hitting anyone.
It's kind of interesting for an ultimate to be focused on that side a little bit more. Really nice mobility, gets you around. It's a nice synergy because for lore reasons, it tallies up well with Aladdin, the way we imagine him because of Disney. I think overall, he's one of the most fun and interesting designs, but he's also one of the most broken designs. There are good things about that. There are bad things about it. I personally would like to see the game economy a little bit farther from the character kit and talents. I understand what they're going for though, trying to make this feel unique and give Geneva of the Lamp a really cool place in the game. I wish that we were incentivized to take other things from Geneva's Lamp than just consumables.
I think if they completely neutered Dreamwish and Master Thief, this would still be my favorite character. I just love his playstyle. I've done a few runs where I've practically killed everything in Chapter 3 and I still have 6 minutes on the clock. You don't need to do that every run, and Master Thief and Dreamwish allow you to do that. So I'm fine if that doesn't exist in the game the way it does. I like abusing Master Thief. It's a gambling addiction, but I think Dream Scimitars is one of the few things in the game that I would really like to see something else here. There's other creative things they could do with his special to potentially give it more of a build aspect that can support other things like his attack or like his power, how they did with Sword Jin where the special supports it. Dream Scimitars, I feel like the value of it can be worth it. If you get it at level 2, you can get a lot of money throughout your run, but Aladdin is, in my mind, one of the weaker level 1 characters. Your level 2 talent is really, really important for you in clear speeds. Things like Sharp Blade, Sword Jin, or Leaping Strikes, really important to try to pick up early to help your clear speeds. And taking something like Dream Scimitars, you're like, cool, I'm going to make a lot of money throughout the game. I think it really, really hurts you.
I think another thing that's tricky is that if your run is going well, a lot of the time right now, you're buying out whole shops because Leprechaun coin. I think Dream Scimitars might be better if we were in a game balance situation where the Dream Shards felt a little bit scarcer. But at the moment, the roads are made of gold if you just have a couple Leprechaun coins. So it hurts the viability of Dream Scimitars from that perspective.
I kind of also agree with in the sense of Dream Wish as well. I think if Leprechaun coin is changed to an extent, I don't think you're getting nearly as much money for Dream Wish spam. And again, I understand you have more of an issue on using it for consumables and generation and buffing all of our stats, but I did a stream where where another player popped out like 30 of these or something, 30, 35 of these. It was insane. Not having that capability and having in a run, potentially 8 or 9, that feels a bit more on par with what you would think would be more balanced.
Yeah. What did you have? Was it 500% crit damage on your Scarlet by the time we got to the final boss?
I think I broke 500 and was like, this is kind of nuts.
Now, to be fair, for those who haven't seen this, I think I did 8% of the damage for our 4-man. So I was chilling. I wasn't really doing a whole lot in terms of contributing to the numbers. It's interesting because if you think about game design again, in a MOBA, there'll often be a support and there'll be a carry. And I feel like Aladdin becomes a support that just slings his carry into a dominant spot if he wants to. Because I basically just spent all of my money on consumables in that run. It's tricky from a gameplay perspective because as time goes on, that character is less and less engaged with the run. I was also really vocal in the comms because I didn't have to worry about anything and everyone else is sweating, though less, granted, because we've cleared the final chapter with 3 minutes to spare. So there wasn't a whole lot of time pressure by the end because everyone else had scaled enough. From a player engagement perspective, it's a little bit tricky if the identity of your kit is just to let other people have fun.
I agree. I think he also can, with what you're saying, there'll be a support and carry. Having those two different roles, I think he also can do it for himself pretty easily as well. If you're playing solo and you're taking Dream Wish, that's what you are doing, but that is more dependent on your magical object RNG.